Yo, yo, yo. Woo! What's up, everybody in YouTube land? Man. Woo! Man. 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 Blood boiling, you right. They call me the Baltimore Butcher. They call me the Baltimore Blockbuster in this big eye itch. Man. Whoever's writing X-Men 97, get that motherfucker a raise. God damn, this shit good. Damn. Oh, we gotta go through all of them, man.
By the power of Grayskull.
Not gonna lie to you, a secret little confession of myself. I wish I could take a sword and transform my house cat into a battle cat. Yes, I wish I had 1,000-pound cat that roared so loud that it created earthquakes. Yes.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
One more time for Slick Rick, please. Who's in the building? Share this goddamn thing to people who want to know, because I'm gonna give you a Baltimoreans exclusive of the episode 5 of X-Men. Episode 5, Remember Me. I'm gonna say this one thing. Man, I'm gonna warn you, if you haven't seen this episode, there's gonna be some spoilers. So you have been warned. Obviously, it's a fucking review, so you should know it's to be some goddamn spoilers. But I'm gonna warn you, okay? If you suffer from post-traumatic stress, it'll hit you hard. If you saw mass injuries and probably death, if anybody's a fan of old school X-Men comics, the X-Men have went there several times, man. Especially the Massacre of Genosha, man. That's it's one thing to see it in the comics, but it's another thing to see it animated. Okay? I'm gonna warn you. If you're not into like gratuitous violence, it's not over the top violence, but for some of you weak kneed people who are not used to how the good old days of the X-Men were, it's gonna hit you a little hard. And there are some scenes in there where your boy Magneto worth watching, nigga. You supposed to be watching this shit. This is our shit, man. Come on, I'm upset with you right now, babe. I'm upset with you with that one. You supposed to be. This is our shit. Back in the 90s, you might have been an adult or young adult, but this is our shit. When we can see this shit, this is geared mostly to adults. Am I too loud for you? Because I'm gonna do a fair shit of cursing, right? Nothing new to you, right? No, it's not woke. And if it does, it's so minuscule of wokeness, it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna tell you what. As dark as this episode was, one of the most wholesome scenes is when Magneto, Gambit, and Rogue land in Genosha, which is basically the mutants' version of Wakanda, and they meet probably everybody's favorite mutant, Nightcrawler, and he literally jumps in Rogue's arms, teleports, and hugs both Gambit and Rogue. That scene right there was so fucking wholesome. Because everybody loves Nightcrawler, man. Who doesn't like a fucking teleporting demonic looking priest? But here's the best part about Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler will hit you with some shit that'll make you think. He's always been, as an X-Men, the moral compass. I remember when him and Wolverine went to kill Master Mold, and they were near a star. And Wolverine asked him, "Do you think God will forgive a wretch like me?" He says, "Well, my God's the kind of God to forgive the people who killed him. So you're in there." So you know what he did? He went out there, teleported Wolverine to Master Mold. He was incinerated instantly, and Wolverine died killing Master Mold in the comic. And he said, "Hey, if I gotta die, I'm gonna die for my Lord and my people." So who wouldn't like a guy like that? That scene was so fucking wholesome. X-Men 97, just like the Avengers versus X-Men, gave Cyclops the story that he needed. And I think they flushed it out how frustrated a man is when he can't see his child. When you hear him talking to the reporter when they're interviewing the X-Men, and trust me, it's to give you some synopsis of the episode. Oh, this episode is Chef's Kiss. Trust me. Trust me. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Oh yeah, I appreciate the Ric Flair clip. Between you, Artisan, Art New Style, and a couple other people, I'm so honored to have my own clip when I come to people's panels. I'm gonna tell you one thing about it. When Gambit told "Ain't no sinner like me," because you know he's from Louisiana, the Bayou, baby. We from New Orleans, baby. And he told him there ain't no time for a sinner like me to get married. He says love is about sin. It's about forgiveness of the sin. Nightcrawler always hits you with that good shit. It's funny because I'm gonna go back to the Cyclops part because I watched it 3 times because it was that hard hitting. Cyclops is the representation of what a lot of black guys feel when their children are taken from them. At least the black guys who give a fuck, okay? And that's the majority of them who have kids. you're gonna have once in a while some assholes. So when you see his frustration talking about when Nathan Charles Summers, aka the future Cable, he had to send his son to the future for his survival. Think about that. I love that part. Luke Jarvis '07 said, one of my favorite lines in the episode was when they were looking at the $10 apples and Gambit said, was like, Daddy sure went up on his rent. That was a classic line, though. I'm not going to lie. I think the love triangle between Gambit, Rogue, Cyclops, Jean Grey, which is a love square, basically, Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey and Wolverine. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And I'm glad they gave Genosha the view of the kids. Because anytime you have a society, your society should always be viewed through the image of the kids and the little children and the teenagers. Because they represent the future. Especially since they had the Morlocks. Shout out to my boy Leech. Because Leech in the comics, like The Rock, always spoke in the third person. And if you look at X-Men, the second episode, when Magneto went on his redemption arc and he rescued the Morlocks, Magneto in the second episode tore the X-Men a new ass by saying, why didn't y'all send them to Genosha? Why didn't you send them to Paradise? But you allowed them to live in the sewers below ground while you motherfuckers get to live. Why didn't even you bring them to the fucking Xavier Institute? And I'm sorry. The Magneto of X-Men 97 is probably one of the best character. He's probably had one of the best character arcs since Vegeta in Dragon Ball. Okay? Okay? He has one of the best characters. Magneto has said things in this series, and there's only been 5 episodes so far in this series continuation that says, wait a minute, you allowed the Morlocks to live under the sewers when you could have either A, brought them to the Xavier Institute, or B, sent them to Genosha. The fuck were you doing? But you for mutants. But you for the mutants, right? You for the people. The fuck are you doing? See, I'm going to warn y'all. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, parental advisory, discretion, explicit content. I read comic books for almost 40 years. So, yeah, we're going to curse. I'm going to tell you what Magneto was really thinking. And he had all right to tear a new asshole into the X-Men. But going back to the episode, you saw how Jean Grey, the real Jean Grey, is trying to figure out if her memories are hers or Madeline Pryor's. There's a rift between Cyclops and Jean Grey because if you looked at the last 2 episodes prior, she just came back to the Xavier Institute. Oh, it's supposed to bring your emotions out. And it's Sergeant Faulkner now. Remember, I got promoted. I appreciate you, Luke Jarvis. But it's supposed to, because this is what happens when, believe it or not, Bay, he was. He was sleeping on the couch. You gotta, this is the reason why you need to watch the series, because my man Cyclops is going through grief. He's going through depression. He's going through the realization that his wife was a clone of the real Jean Grey. This man doesn't know up from down. His father figure died. He thought he was the leader of the X-Men. And no, it's all good. It's all good, Luke. It's all good. You gotta, this is what X-Men 97 can be, what saves Disney and Marvel if they keep writing this way. It's on Disney Plus, man. As much as this animated thing, this animated, show or comic is, you can feel it as an adult. You can feel it as an adult. Because how does a grown man feel? And we're gonna take race out of it, okay? Nope, it's a Disney. I don't know if unless you got a connection on Hulu, the bundle for Hulu and Disney Plus, but it's a Disney Plus exclusive. Disney Plus original. So I would appreciate YouTube and Disney Plus giving me a little bit of a sponsor. Besides Art of Itmore, Artisan MC, Beastly Nerd, I wanted the foundational comic book nerds in this joint. Okay? Cyclops has my newfound respect in this series because he had some of the most badass moments in this series so far. And you got to see Cyclops' vulnerability. It's a good time to be alive, isn't it? A good. That's what I said when I saw the end game and Man of Steel. I said I must be blessed by all the gods to see something like this. I don't need a transformer. Just send me a real woman, okay? If you're gonna give me toppings like like an ice cream cone, at least give me a real woman. God damn it! By the way, early morning cigar, LFD, double Ligago. Um, Shout out to the snowman. You actually see the vulnerability of a man. Let's take race out of it. Of a man who had to give up his son just for his son to survive. And shout out to the snowman. Check out his newest episode of Diary of a Mad Snowman. Whoo! Gotta go on that Disney Plus unless you got some special powers. You saw the rift between Jean Grey, and then come to find out my man was secretly having psychic meetings with Madeline Pryor, because Madeline Pryor, even though she's the exact clone copy of Jean Grey, is the mother of their child. And Jean Grey actually found out because she was like, she actually booted her out the psychic, the psychic link, and got mad. But then we go back to Genosha. Because remember what I told you, there's a love triangle going on between Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit. And then come to find out, Rogue tells the truth to Gambit. Matter of fact, let's back up. The reason why Magneto, Gambit, and Rogue comes to Genosha, which looks like a paradise, and shout out to the artists and the writers bringing some of my favorite mutants of all time in the episode. When you had the Multiple Man, you had Leech, you had Pixie with her clumsy fun self. When you had one of my favorite mutants of all time, Dazzler, in the episode. And shout out to Dazzler. If you remember the old X-Men arcade game, X-Men. Of course, Nightcrawler, the G, a Nightcrawler. You even had a lot of people in that episode, man. You had the White Queen herself, Emma Frost, the Black King. They wanted Magneto to be the Chancellor, aka King of Genosha Island. Well, that was the point about it. It was supposed to be the Wakanda for mutants. Because you got to remember, some of the mutants' abilities is intellect. Like Beast, part of his mutant ability is his intellect. Not just his fur, his super strength, his speed, his agility. The fact that he can write with his feet is part of his intellect. So you had some of the most smartest people in the world who were mutants in Genosha. So of course they're going to have advanced technology. It's kind of like Afrocentrism of what would happen with black people if colonialism and slavery never happened. Everybody knows that we would outpace the planet because even today, 85% of the inventions today that we use were made by black hands. So, that being said and delivered, there's no issue with that. So I look at the same thing with Wakanda. The same thing I would say with mutants. So they wanted Magneto to become the leader because, of course, as you know and I know, in this series, Charles Xavier is a martyr. He's dead. So the next best choice is the guy who's holding up the dream for mutants to have a holy land and for humans to live as one with mutants is Magneto. he accepted it on one condition: for Rogue to be his queen. Oh my God. Oh my God again. And what we learned in this episode is the prior relationship of Rogue with Magneto before she became an X-Man. Oh my God. Oh my God again. And what had happened was, everybody knows that Mystique was the stepmother or foster mother for Rogue. And Nightcrawler is the mother slash father. Fuck you, modern Marvel writers, for Nightcrawler. And so they're kind of siblings. And his half brother is Grayson Creed, you know, everybody's favorite racist for the Friends of Humanity. Basically, the mutants version of the Ku Klux Klan. The humans who hate mutants. So, you find out that they had a relationship going on because Magneto's electromagnetic powers actually put up a barrier that allowed him to touch Rogue without killing himself. Hey, what's up, Superman? So you start seeing that all this time they had a whole relationship. She was smitten by the dude. I'm going to start calling Magneto in this series Riz God Magnus. The Riz God. you know, sexy Magneto with the hair, with the good hair, you know what I'm saying? Pause. No Diddy. But they had a legitimate relationship. And because he couldn't get over his pains, because obviously, for those of you who don't know, Magneto's Jewish. Magneto, despite his youthful looks, is actually a Holocaust survivor. And he was actually imprisoned in Auschwitz. Fun fact in the comics, many comics also say that Captain America also rescued Magneto when he was a child. There you go. So, I don't know if it's canon, but some comics alluded that Captain America, either Steve Rogers or Isaiah Bradley, rescued Magneto when he was a child. That's why he's always been very kind to whoever's been in the role of Captain America. So he talks to Rogue about being a queen, and she thinks that he's plotting this shit just to get her back. So one of the most tear-jerking scenes is when she breaks down all the story to Gambit. And Gambit is like throwing playing cards into the fireplace because, you know, Gambit is styling and profiling, got his white suit on with the scarf, slick as shit. And she decides, and she tells him how conflicted she is. And you can see the tears run down the faces of both Gambit and Rogue. And Rogue said, well, it's not that I don't love you, it's the fact that I can't touch you. Because she wants to get closer than close. We're talking about closer. Gambit kissed her hand and said, well, Sherry, you only like me as the swamp rat? And she said, you played the Sherry. Well, the only thing we could do right now is just be friends and only friends. So we're going to peep this, right? We're going to go to the lake where Jean Grey is hiding from the reporters, trying to see if her memories are her memories or Madeline Pryor's. And she's approached by Logan, aka Wolverine. So Wolverine tells her that I got over 100 years of memories myself that were jumbled. And he said the best thing to do was keep marching forward. And so, paraphrasing. And Jean was like, well, I forget how many sunrises and sunsets you've seen. And Jean, in a fit of emotion, kisses Wolverine, which actually shocks Logan. And Logan said, but he kept it gangster and said, you're Jean Grey, he's Scott Summers, those are the rules. You just forgot him for a second and walked off. Brisgard Logan, by the way, hashtag Brisgard Logan. Even when he's not trying, the girl's panties are dying. So, well, you can say that, babe. A little make me feel good sex. So, he walks off and just chalks it up. So we go to the actual ball or festival in Genosha, where Magneto's wearing a tux with the Asian top. You know, my man Gambit sitting with Madeline Pryor, having some drinks, but he's kind of depressed because of the whole ordeal with Rogue. Everybody's dancing to the music. Nightcrawler's teleporting, dancing. It's nice to see mutants finally have a place of their own, dancing, happy. You see Archangel, Warren Worthington III, fly through. You see Banshee with his lady Moira McTaggart before she becomes the bitch in the comic books. Yeah, I said it. And you see him talking to Emma Frost. And I forget what the Black King's name is. Damn it, it slips my mind. And the UN secretary wants to talk to the leadership of the Council of Genosha, picking Magneto as their leader. And she says, well, we have an issue because why would you pick a leader who was a terrorist? And Magneto, in pure Magneto form, said, but how many times has the UN allowed so many leaders to become terrorists? How would you pick a terrorist for a leader? And he said to the UN secretary, how many leaders become terrorists? And he shut her down with that one. So during this talking, here comes everybody's Southern Belle, Rogue. Put on your red dress. Put on your high heels. Coming out the sky. And everybody's shocked on how beautiful she looks. Magneto hands the drink to the UN secretary. Riz God Magnus, as I like to call it. Riz God Magnus, or Eric. Floats up to the sky to meet her. You might as well put the H-Town Freak Me Baby, or whoever the fuck sings it. Ah, scared you.
That was baby.
No.
Huh?
No.
Hey, shit, she got a little bottle on it. I thought I bought a little.
That was my.
Loud, but
No, that was
like a metal bottle.
no, that was my bark.
Huh?
My bark. So they go dancing in the middle of the sky in the ball, and they hold hands, slow dancing and kiss. And he tells her, the same line that Gambit says her, like, I can't touch you, but there's some things that go beyond skin deep, which shows that she really wants to be with Gambit no matter what, if she can touch him or not. So during this time, Gambit gets pissed at them dancing and walks out. Madeline Pryor, who has the same powers as Jean Grey because she's an exact clone, gets a psychic message beamed into her head from somebody telling her to cut the music, get everybody out there. Lo and behold, she goes out to the balcony, and it's Nathan Charles Summers, aka Cable, from the future. And he tells her, get everybody out there, cut the music. Because he got this little chrono band on for time travel. And he says, I'm sorry, Mom, when she recognizes his eyes. So next thing you know, you see this glowing green light. And an explosion hits the ballroom. Boom. And you look up, and it's this super kaiju-sized Sentinel. So they have a lot of casualties from injuries. And I mean, it's brutal. I don't know how they pulled it off from not being a PG-13. It probably was PG-13, but it was so brutal. And when you saw all the mutants being maimed, hurt, injured, and killed, it put lumps in your throat. Magneto told Rogue and Gambit to go rescue as many people as they can in the Morlocks. And you see Gambit throws his cards and decapitate 2 Sentinels, and Rogue wrestles with one and destroys it, while Magneto was drawing the fire of this large Sentinel, this humongous Sentinel. Oh my God. And then you have my man's Nightcrawler save the day because the Sentinel was about to blast Magneto and Rogue, and he teleports them out, but he gets the blast in his back, and he's unconscious and bleeding out the mouth, nose, and all over. Let you know some serious shit going on. You got mutants in traction. You had a couple of mutants disintegrated, decimated, buildings blowing up. It's nothing but fire and smoke. So they finally get there. You hear the Morlocks talking. And they said, you know, the Morlocks are not, the X-Men are not friends of the Morlocks because they're thinking that they don't care about them. But everybody talks to Leech, and Leech says, you know, Calypso, who's the leader of the Morlocks, who's hurt in the blast, by the way, Calypso will find Morlocks and Leech or Magneto. So next thing you know, one of the Sentinels found where the Morlocks was and about to kill them. Then out of nowhere, you see everybody's favorite Raging Cajun Gambit with his staff destroy the fucking thing and throw a fucking card and explode it. And while Magneto's battling this humongous Morlock, excuse me, not Morlock, Sentinel, just to let you know how Wakanda like it is, there's two enormous statues of Charles Xavier and Magneto at the Capitol steps. And while he's battling this Sentinel, the statue, he was thrown into the statue, which knocks over the statue of Charles Xavier and unfortunately crushes and kills some mutants, which caused Magneto to have an episode of PTSD, not only of the mutants he saw die just now, but he also goes back to when he was a little Jewish kid in Auschwitz with Constantine wire around him. And he yells out, "They will be avenged," talking about his Jewish family and the mutants. And he takes this monorail, the subway cars, and he whips the goddamn Sentinel in the face hard as shit. And during this time, the Morlocks finally find him, and he's battling the Sentinel. He gets thrown into a car, and he puts up his electromagnetic shield to protect everybody. And you hear Rogue screaming to Eric, "Don't you do it." And Gambit just grabs her and says, no, he's trying to save them and save us. So Magneto looks at Rogue and Gambit and puts this metal container to shield them from the Sentinel blast while he has his electromagnetic bubble shielding around. And one of the most tear-jerking scenes is when Magneto looks at Leech, and Leech is clenching to his chest. And he talks to him in German saying, "Do not be afraid." And then there's a big explosion, and you don't see Magneto anymore, or the Morlocks. So Rogue, of course, because, you know, she has her super strength, busts out of the shielding, tears in her eyes, going straight for that Sentinel. And she's about to do a kamikaze mission to destroy that bitch, to avenge Magneto. Gambit gets on his crotch rocket, his motorcycle, charges it up and throws it at Rogue to save her life. So he just tells the Sentinel, he says, I'll take you on. The odds in my favor. When he gets his staff out, when the Sentinel shoots the ground and creates this debris and earthquake, he jumps up, and next thing you know, the Sentinel just sends this prong out and stabs him in the stomach and impales him. And you're like, oh shit. So next thing you know, he charges up the Sentinel, and he just says this one line. The name's Gambit. Remember it, which is the title of the episode. And explodes, destroys the Super Sentinel. And next thing you know, it creates this huge crater. And it's like Lois Lane at the death of Superman when Rogue holds him and said, I can't feel you anymore. And Gambit sacrifices himself to save everybody. Even with me explaining it does justice not for this episode. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I want you to tell me what you thought of this episode, because this shit, whoever's writing this shit gotta be the writers of the movies now. I'm sorry. This shit was the best shit I've seen in years. Good God. That's the link. Anybody want to talk about this shit? Come on up. If not, I'm gonna end this shit. This was a chef's kiss. And I think that we're not gonna see the conclusion of that episode for like 2 weeks. Because I think we're gonna go through the conclusion of Love Death first. Then they're gonna go back to Genosha. There's the link. Anybody want to join and talk about it who's seen it? If not, I'll end this son of a bitch early. Let me know. But from a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this episode a 25. Watch this motherfucker. This was it had some wholesome scenes, but man, this was dark. This was dark. Well written. Man, this was dark, but it was so well written. The stakes are high as fuck. Man, this is called storytelling. I'm sorry. For those of you who are comic book fans or pro wrestling fans, you're being blessed with storylines right now this week alone. You're being blessed with storylines. This is what happened when true writers take over material. Whoever's writing this shit, give these motherfuckers a raise. They deserve it. They deserve the keys to the kingdom. My God, that episode was so good. My God, that episode was so good. It was shocking. Man, if you have not paid attention to X-Men yet, 97, and you grew up with the show like I did, you're doing yourself a disservice. The greatest Disney show of all time. The greatest Disney Plus show of all time is X-Men 97. There, I said it. There, I said it. That shit was so good that you'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll scream. I don't know what the hell to say to y'all, man. There's a link. Anybody want to come up and talk to it? Hmm. Yep, he said you're right, Sergeant Sergeant. This is the best Disney show. Yeah, it is the best Disney show of all time. I'm sorry. It's the greatest Disney show of all time. He said, oh yeah, this is the greatest Disney show of all time. I'm sorry. There's not one damn thing you can complain about this show. You don't see the woke bullshit. You don't see none of this shit going past. I'm thoroughly impressed by the writers and artists. It's cool enough for little kids to watch, but it's adult enough for people who grew up during the series who are adults now, not to feel like you're playing with their man. I'm gonna tell you what. Go get the free trial. Go watch it. If you don't think this series is not the best series in Disney Plus, I will personally cash app your ass $20. And and you gotta really give me a good reason why you don't think this is the best show that Disney Plus ever had. A good reason to get that $20. Why do you have that on your head? Take it off before you go bald.
Guys, they'll be getting my fees. Excuse.
Exhibit A. Face clear.
Abby, Abby.
Luke said one of the things I liked about this series is that they're letting the mutants use all their powers to the max. Just look how powerful Jean Grey was in episode 3. Yeah, she was powerful as shit. I mean, Madeline Pryor was so powerful, she was fucking up their perception. So I'm talking to Disney and I'm talking to Marvel. I've already said from a scale of 1 to 10, X-Men 97 is a 25 going on 50. I'm going to tell you motherfuckers two things. Number one, I want sponsorship for giving a lifelong comic book fan their seal of approval to the show. Number two, I want some sponsorship, damn it. It's only fair, Claire. I'm gonna tell you what. If you don't watch this show, you're doing yourself a disservice. I will say that. Do what I do when it comes to Hulu because the only reason I get the Hulu with all the sports is when football season starts. After the show ends, you can end your subscription. Do it while it's still cheap. Just watch the X-Men or when the cinematic universe was still good, and there you go. But this X-Men show is the shit. I'll say that. I understand if you don't, that's your choice, but this shit is worth it. This shit is worth it. This episode, oh my god. My god, my god. Ah, this shit is better than soap operas. So much rich storytelling. See, this is the standard. It's like back in the day when Batman the Animated Series came out, which is still the standard for superhero cartoons. It's like Dragon Ball, which was the standard for battle anime. This is the standard for modern storytelling. This tells a better story than most of your favorite live action shows. Yeah, man. Gambit went out hard, didn't he? Yeah, man. I'm gonna put the link up one last time. Going once, going twice. If anybody want to talk, tell them to talk about what do they feel about the episode. What did I miss? But God, that shit was storytelling. One thing you could say, Gambit did not go out like a whore. Gambit did not go out like no whore. Jesus Christ. Ah. And then when they went back to the X Mansion, and they were like, how many was it? Too many. Too many. But I'm gonna say this. Whoever sent that Super Sentinel, the X-Men is gonna put foot knee deep. I mean thigh deep in their ass. They are not gonna take man, it's gonna get brutal. You're gonna have the entire mutant community just get brutal on whoever the fuck sent them sentinels. Whoever fucking sent them sentinels, it's gonna get brutal. They are going to fuck them up. I mean, it's gonna be belt to ass. If Magneto survives that shit, he is gonna put belt to ass to whoever. He's like, look, it's gonna be belt to ass. He said, I was like, how y'all gonna come back and kill my nigga Gambit? I know, right? I'm telling you, if Magneto survives that episode, man, he is going to be on fumes. He is going to be volcanic with his anger. Wolverine is going to be vicious. And you know how Wolverine's rough around the edges, but two things you don't do. You don't fuck with his liquor and his cigars, and you don't fuck with his fellow X-Men. You remember the old series when he thought his boy Morph was dead? Man, he killed every goddamn Sentinel he seen. Oh, Cyclops is gonna go ballistic. He's Cyclops right now is mourning the fact that he had to give up his son to the future for a cure. He's looking for a reason to punch a nigga in the face. He he's on the fucking outs with his wife and didn't know his wife was a clone and has his wife that he married and still like, okay, is this the same bitch? Man, he looking for a reason to fuck somebody up. I can't take it out on her, so I'm gonna take it out on whoever's killing me. Oh man. Not ruling out the Hellfire Club. Yeah, that's true. He said this is he said, yeah, this is the standard now. Well, sounds like me. I'm looking for a reason to put my foot in somebody's ass. I look for peace. I just say, don't give me a reason to put my foot in your ass. Please don't give me a reason. God knows I don't want to do it. He said, Basehead, see now, I gotta watch it. You owe me $5. Hey, I'm putting you on. When do you hear me endorse shit? Okay, I don't endorse shit too much. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna say this for the last goddamn time. Hit the link right here if you've seen it and you want to talk about it. If not, I'm gonna end the damn thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing. The surviving mutants are gonna put belt to ass, fist to jaw, foot to balls. They're gonna punch bitches in their ovaries, man. They're gonna kick niggas in their balls. It's gonna get brutal. When they come back to this episode, it's gonna get brutal. They are gonna exact vengeance like no fucking other. Oh my god. It's gonna be hell to pay. It's man, they better hope Magneto's dead. Rogue is gonna take no prisoners. You killed her. You killed her fucking sugar. Oh, Rogue is gonna fuck you up. Oh, you gonna see because I know next week they're gonna do the conclusion of Love Death. He said they about to boss up for real, for real. Man, you gonna see the X-Men dress up and all the motherfuckers gonna have black Air Forces on. Mm. No, 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 no. Skip all that shit. They putting on black Tim. Somebody getting stomped out. Mm. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm from Baltimore. It's one thing to see a group of niggas with black Air Forces. Hey Rob, what happens when you see a group of niggas with black Tims coming towards you? Oh, they're gonna stomp you out. They're gonna stomp you out. Oh, they're gonna have steel toes. They're gonna kick you in the ribs. Oh, they're gonna fuck them up. Whoever did that attack on Genosha, oh, they're gonna fuck them up. He said, no, when you describing Wolverine, don't sound like messing with a cigar. Liquor sound like you, Sergeant. Well, yeah, don't. I could give up liquor and cigars, but don't fuck with my loved ones. If you make me put that down because you're doing something stupid to my loved ones, then you might have to go. As the old saying goes, give your soul to God because your ass belong to me. I'm on that type of shit. Man, between between Invincible and X-Men, good God Almighty, what a time to be alive. Mm, 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 mm. He said, been seeing way too much Val Cooper to not expect a Freedom Force cameo. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. Jesus Christ. Man. Telling you, man. See, I understand that a lot of people who do comic reviews yeah, see, the X-Men vibe is totally different for the show, but it's not different from the comics. Am I gonna do an Invincible review episode? Sure, why not? Why not do an Invincible? I'll probably start from this season on up. Who knows? If that's what y'all want, if that's what y'all want, I'll do it. Val Cooper versus Amanda Waller. Oh man. Oh man. Amanda Waller is as black pill as you can get black pill. She's kind of like a nihilist in a way. She's a utilitarian that slips into nihilism every now and again. Oh man. It's gonna get fucking ugly when they return back to this episode. When they return back to Genosha at the storm. Oh man. And I just realized when Storm gets her powers back, oh my god. Oh my god. You're gonna have to pay toll. You're gonna have to make sacrifices to the goddess, man. She is going to fuck them up. And we forgot about the loose cannons, Bishop and Cable. Oh my god. Mm. Then you're gonna have the. Then this is a way you might have X Force come back out. Mm. Polaris. Oh, Polaris come out. Oh, Havoc. Oh, Strong Guy. Oh, oh, it's gonna be an ass whooping. It's gonna be an epic ass whooping, and I'm here for it. Oh, is they gonna fuck them up? And I love it. Oh, they gonna fuck them up so badly. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, and then you got to remember the majority of the X-Men weren't even in Genosha. Only 3 of them. Ah, when they hear about Gambit, oh my god. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the fucking ride. I'm sorry. I'll say this about Invincible, okay? When somebody said Omni-Man versus Superman, I'll say this. There is no conceivable way that Omni-Man is winning that fight. Too much raw power. He's just as fast, if not faster. He's way stronger. He has more durability and strength feats. Too much a multitude of powers for Omni-Man to deal with. That Tri-Sentinel is way above Henry Greenwich. It's got to be Apocalypse or Xavier's sister. Yeah, you're right, Free Will. Superman by a mile. Not even by a mile. Superman by a fucking country. Probably by a whole planet. Superman doesn't have to kill. I want y'all to go remember Superman. Go read Superman versus the Elite. You will wish he would kill you the way he would just deal with your ass. It may be more humane what he would do to you if he killed you than what he could actually do to you. So if me and Artisan MC, he said he would go Omni Man. I don't see Omni Man. I don't see even at the end of Invincible. I don't see Thrag, who is leagues above any Viltrumite, fucking with Superman. You were fighting in the sun, so you're literally fighting in the object that gives Superman his power. So when you're dying, he's growing more powerful. Even if you can fight in space. Then they said it would take only 6 to 12 Viltrumites to rip the Earth apart when Superman could do it with his bare hands by himself? Nah, it's too much power. Too much power. Too much power. I'll tell you what. Even when people ask me who will win the Justice League versus the Avengers, we can go by the JLA back in the late 90s to the mid 2000s. The Magnificent Seven JLA. And I'll tell you this. When you had the Magnificent Seven of the JLA, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, and who was the seventh one? I keep forgetting the seventh one. Green Lantern. You put them in the Avengers Mansion one by one, 7 days a week, starting with Batman. They would give the Avengers issues. You would end it with Superman. I'll put it to you this way: Wonder Woman by herself will probably kill the Avengers, including Hulk. And people will be like, Wonder Woman would kill? Yes, she would kill him. She has weapons that could cut Superman. She would kill him. she would kill him. Why are you asking me something that has nothing to do with the fucking situation at hand? Comment when we talk about that. This is not that episode. See, this is what happens when people get to derail the conversation. There was no scandal. Okay? Go read what the medical examiner's findings and the forensic expert the family held. There was no scandal at all during Freddie Gray. Okay? There was none. The only thing they did wrong was not play the game and call the medic. That was it. Those officers in the Freddie Gray are back working again. There was no scandal. Thank you. If anything, it showed you how fucked up the citizenry were because you had over 200 officers injured, 70 had to be medically retired. You're throwing rocks at somebody and they didn't fire one shot. What does that tell you? But see, you're talking about shit that you never experienced. And see, when you assume, you make an ass of yourself. What eternal corruption? Why are you talking about? Okay. Since you want to go there, tell me how much experience do you have with the Baltimore Police Department? Since you want to go there. Even if you put the Scarlet Witch there, Zartana is just as powerful, if not more. And plus, she actually knows magic a lot better than the Scarlet Witch crazy ass. And what 7 cops are you talking about? What 7 cops are you talking about? The ones that were being prosecuted for Freddie Gray, and that the idiot for state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, who never prosecuted a felony case in her life, and they found out that it was nothing malicious on their part. Stop going by just Al Jazeera and all these places. It's never even been to Baltimore. They never been here. Here's the thing I'm gonna ask you, just like I said earlier today, talking to Robert. Did the city get better or worse after the Freddie Gray riots? Where's Black Lives Matter? Where are all them little bitches who took their money and went to go live in white neighborhoods, but they're for Black lives, right? A bunch of phonies. Now back to this comic book shit. Worser? Is that even a word? No. So, they wanted hands off policing, they got it. So now these motherfuckers can't even get their kids together. Well, they're weak to extreme heat eventually, like sunlight, like being fighting in the sun, and I'm pretty sure that fucking heat vision would fuck them up. They killed him in cold blood. Really? No, no, no. I'm gonna just so I can end this bullshit right now. Go read what the medical examiner said and go read what their forensic expert that the family lawyer hired said. They both agreed that those wounds were self-inflicted. Damn, O.J. Simpson died, huh? R.I.B. to the juice. Now about this X-Men. Yes. When you go read the medical examiner paper, see, this is the part where people don't want to do their research, Bay. They don't want to read into what the foundings were. Damn. Yep, he had a cancer, 76 years old, battling cancer. Damn. They kept that shit under wraps, didn't they? I was in the 8th grade when the O.J. Simpson trial was out. Wow. It's a damn shame that he's going to be more known for the O.J. Simpson trial than his actual football career. Oh, boy. It's a damn shame. Yep, you're going to have something to yap about. At least they have to leave you alone now, bro. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're going to have to leave him alone now. It's kind of funny, before you leave this earth, if you're a black man and you're doing something white people don't like, they're going to make an enemy out of you. You better believe that shit. White people are going to make an enemy out of you if you do something they don't like. It's not the fact that you're doing something that's actually criminal, but if you do something they don't like, they're going to be an enemy. It's like these harpy bitches who try to talk about Dr. King cheating on his wife. What evidence do you have, you dumb bitches? And that's a lot of black women who talk about that shit. I'm gonna tell you what's really fucked up, right? What's really fucked up about life. You'll have more people, especially in our community, who will throw parties for niggas come out of prison than a nigga graduating from college. You'll have more parties of a nigga come out from prison selling poison to his people than when I came out of Iraq serving my country. And that's the God honest truth. If I came out of prison, the whole hood would love me. Oh, you a real nigga, yo. You ain't snitch. No, I wasn't smart enough to tell the truth. Okay. Oh no, you ain't telling the truth. You ain't tell the real truth about. You ain't snitch. So I'm gonna take the rap for niggas who actually did it. Okay. That's how you know the women in our community ain't shit anymore. Women in our community would rather get a scammer or a drug dealer than a college boy. They don't want to date a man in the military. They don't even want their sons to go to the military because they'll say he'll die. But they're happy to let their sons go sell drugs on a block where he gets shot at night in, night out, and day out. See, the only way you'll be revered as a superhero in the black community if you want some fuck shit. Okay? If you want some fuck shit. Think about this. I've had women, very beautiful women, successful women who are supposed to be quote unquote on the right side of the tracks tell me I couldn't date you because you're a cop. Good God Almighty. Well, then again, she was probably doing me a favor because she was probably a fucking hellion anyway. Throw that bottle away. Yo, throw that away.
What?
What's up, Detroit 313? What's up, T Ruler? Free Will Defender. It's a damn shame that as a black man in America, okay, yep, yeah, you know me very well. A rant's gonna come on. All right, I got this rant coming on. I need everybody to give me a woo in the chat if you want me to hear this rant. Since nobody's coming up to talk about the X-Men, I'm gonna give a holy rant. The least you could do is like, share, subscribe, and donate if you can, because I got a holy rant coming on. I need 15 people to give me some woos, 1 or 2 people to give some donations. Come on now. I'm gonna give a holy rant, okay? All right. It's gonna be a good old rant. I need more woos in the chat, man. Need some cash apps because you know they demonetize my black ass. Post the cash app. Here it is. Post the cash app. Even though it's in the ticker. So I'm gonna post the cash app. Here you go. Cash app away. Right there. That's the cash app. Okay. He said woo before I died of this heart attack. I got a holy rant, and it's a good one. All right. 2 donations, or if you want to donate more, that's on you. Give me some woos, give me some audience participation, because a fucking unholy jihad of a rant's coming on. Since Tori L wants to bring this shit out of me, his cash app, you ain't shit, embrace Melody. Here's the cash app, you ain't shit. Hit my like button. Oh man. Oh man. I need a few more woos and a few more cash apps. That should be my day. Whew, yeah, shit. All right. Are you ready? Give me a countdown for this jihad of a rant I'm about to do. Somebody start the countdown. Countdown from 10. We're about to do this holy rant. What's the old saying? Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Oh man, Jesus. Shout out to dropping the cup for the for the cash app. Shout out to F Holiday for the cash app. Here we go. Oh man, you know everybody's. All right. Since you guys did what I asked, I'm gonna give you a holy rant. How does BGS start his off? Forgive me, Father, for I have not sinned, for I have sinned. All right. I go to the bank to start a new account for my business, Blackline Security. I get into this conversation passing cards out because, you know, I'm also a firearms instructor for pistol, rifle, shotgun, CCW, your wear and carry permits, protection in the home, out the home. So One lady says, well, I want to be able to, even though my boyfriend has guns, I want to be able to know how to use a gun and have a gun if we break up. I'm like, cool, but you should protect yourself anyway. So we get in a conversation. I said, I think women should protect themselves. Well, you're saying women can't protect themselves? I said, well, women are not known for protection. So, yeah, I never looked once in my life to say a woman's going to protect me. And the conversation, so I'm in the bank, and of course, it's nothing but women. So the conversation goes, well, I think women can protect themselves. A woman can knock out a guy who's a small guy if she's a big woman. I said, when have you seen that? It's very rare. And that's only because the guy wasn't fighting her. Well, I said, there's a reason why we have weight classes and gender classes. I said, the anytime you see a woman beat a guy in a fight is not because, it's only because the man wasn't fighting back. Well, I think women can do things that men, what can men do that women can't? Everything better. And I said, here's my thing. When I told her, I said, the military is about 90% men. The police departments are 90% men. Your fire departments are 95% men. Construction is 98% men. I said, really? Well, of course, nobody will bother you. And I was about to tell the one bitch, like, you do know you're a larger woman than me. On paper, anyway. But it gets back into this, and I said, y'all don't understand men, do you? You think that women can really beat up men and men don't hold back? A man can hit you with 25% of his power and put you in a hospital. And she was like, well, that's not. I said, go ahead and try. Go to a small dude and you swing on him and he's ready to take your head off your shoulders. And these are supposed to be motherfuckers in the bank, so I might be thinking about going to see another bank, but fuck it. Here's the fucked up part about it. Then another bank teller or another banker tried to say, well, women are smarter than men. I said, when and where? I said, so how many women are architects and build buildings? You chicks could barely change your tires. I said, oh yeah, by the way, you do know 70% of chefs are men, right? Well, 75. So in the realm of cooking, which is supposed to be something that females are supposed to be the best, I bet you 9 times out of 10, it was your grandfather or great-grandfather who taught your grandmother or great-grandmother how to cook. And you work at a bank with numbers. Oh my God. And here's the funniest part about the conversation. Would you want to work and live in a city where it's nothing but an all-female police department? You know what her answer was? No. I said, as a matter of fact, this is how much men do a good job. Single men raise better children than single women. Well, that's not true. Yes, it is. I said, look up the stats. Well, I don't believe it. Look them up. We damn near get the same results as 2-parent households. As a matter of fact, when it comes to combative situations, the only times y'all do well is in the terms of sniping, espionage, and investigations because you bitches are so nosy. Well, what you mean? I said, so you really, well, y'all built for combat. So you're telling me that you're smarter? Where are you smarter? I said, tell me what inventions have women made to make the world go round? Y'all tried this shit before. It's called when Trump first got elected. Y'all protested, and guess what? Not a goddamn thing was felt. But if men leave their jobs, this world will fly off its goddamn axis. I said, and then the same chick, when I had to address another chick who said women are smarter, let's look at the degrees women get: teaching, communications, maybe nursing, psychology, which is a dead fucking degree. You got to put more money into that fucking degree than you're going to get from it. And here's the worst part. When I'm giving them their facts, they could have took the same time in front of their computers and went on the internet and checked to see if everything I said was true. Did you think they do it? Of course not. Because as the Bible would say, lean not to your own understanding. And I said, go look at the statistics. We raise better children. I said, do me a favor. Will you see a cauldron of single mothers? Do you see kids who are overachievers, or do you see nothing but death and destruction? I said, here's the fucking fact. They did studies where they gave girls action heroes, He-Man, G.I. Joes. When those girls grew up, guess what type of jobs they went? To female-dominated jobs. Women love jobs where they can sit on their ass for the most part. Women love jobs where they can take care of people and watch babies. They don't like the hard work. They don't like the real strenuous work. I said, even this one, when y'all so smart, then how come you can't pick good men? Oh, you know they were fit with me. You know they were. Why can't you pick a man that's better than you? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, help us. Wait a minute, I got to do my first set. Come on, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, it's the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming to see you, honey. I'm coming to see you. It's the big one. It's the big one. Even the white girls agree with me. I said, here's the fact of the matter. Why can't you pick a better man than you? And then she tried to come up with this shit. Why do men cheat? Men and women cheat for different reasons. Men cheat because got pussy, it's available. When men cheat, it's an activity. We fuck like it's playing basketball or wrestling. It's an activity, playing a game. You giving pussy? Okay, dick hard, pussy goes. I got billions of sperm I'm producing day to day to day, every second, every minute. When y'all cheat, you bitches are fully mentally in it. What happened to that chick who lost all that weight? She thought she could get a better man than her husband. She thought that man she was going to leave her husband with, they were going to live happily ever after. And she didn't know that she was just another bitch. She played herself. And I said, by the way, women cheat more. Dudes have a biological imperative to want to impregnate every woman they see they can get their hands on. Y'all don't even know that. I said, if you chicks are so educated, you didn't take one biology class, one anatomy class. All that so-called vaunted education. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. A lot of these, you never hear about too many chicks who get a degree in mathematics. How many chicks you know with a degree in robotics? The only degree they get in AI is Allen Iverson. That's it. Is when they buy an Allen Iverson vintage jersey. That's it. So the conversation gets even more interesting because I said, so why do women cheat? So you don't think that women could just like a guy and just say, I said, of course we know that. That's why we call you freaks. But you don't want nobody to call you a freak, so you don't want to talk about that part. Well, what you mean? You chicks are not even honest about how many bodies you got. Let's be fair. You chicks will omit shit from your obituary of bodies. Well, I had this one chick, and she was there, and no, it doesn't count. I said, here's the crazy part: men will fuck you. We just don't want to marry you once you put your business out there being a freak. That's why you see all these poly chicks single, single. And of course, when I asked the question, this is all you got. Deflection. A bunch of deflection. And I'm like, let's go back to these women are smarter. I said, if you were so smart, why don't you get the best jobs? If you were so smart, why is it that you take jobs that you claim there's a pay gap in the same positions? Why aren't you smart enough to get the same pay as a man? There is no pay gap. Okay? I even debunked that for him. There's no pay gap. Y'all just don't work jobs that are worth paying for. Well, I said, let me ask you this question. Where can you legally pay a person less in this country? Where can you pay a person less in this country for the same position? Go ahead, tell me. Tell me. Tell me. When they did the study, women work 6.7 hours, 6.7 hours on average. Men work 8.1. You know why? I was thinking that same thing, T. Riddler. Or maybe I should because I might get more money than I really have, and then I'll just take it out and that bank could get blamed for that shit. Who knows? But think about this shit, right? Where can you legally pay somebody less?
Okay.
Do we have a Department of Labor? If you're really getting paid less at a job that you're equally qualified as another person, can you not have a class action lawsuit against that company? He said you have to send me this deflection. Oh my god, I do have to send you that shit, man. This shit is great. Show me where women are getting paid less than the men when men work more overtime than most women. Because especially when women have children, guess where women want to be? In the house. But guess what men have to do when they have kids? They have to work more to take care of the family because this bitch is home with the kids. So we both can't be there. So once again, tell me where women are smarter. Because if you're dumb enough to take the same job as I do and get paid less, then that means you're not that bright. You're not that bright. I blame you niggas for this because y'all killing my Marvel and Disney profits. But hey, I'm probably not gonna get it because I cuss a lot. So hey, why not? You literally work at daycares and beauty salons and all these other bullshit places. Look. Peep this, right? Most barbers cut hair and they usually buy all their supplies, right? Their clippers, their trimmers, all that shit. When a woman does hair, who is she buying her fake hair from? What race of people? When you get your hair redread, is an Asian person doing it? Or is it a black person doing it? But when a woman gets her hair put in, who does she got to buy hair from? Who's smarter? I want you to think about that. Who the fuck's smarter? Show me a black woman with her own tennis shoe game out. Can you name one? What black woman you know with her own tennis shoe out? How many black guys got their own shoe out? Let's go here, right? Let's even go to the illegal shit. Let's go to the illegal shit. How many black men are kingpins making money off of illicit drugs? How many black women aren't? How many black women got to be sluts, hoes, and freaks to get the money? And it's not even promised to them. Let's go even further. How many chicks are having babies by niggas with no jobs and then taking them to child support where they still get no money? Yeah, but is she even comparable to Jordan? No. Let's outside of beauty salons, what business do black women really hold? And you're still dependent upon Asian people for it. What's the main businesses that black women hold? I don't see any black female mechanics. I barely see black female barbers. It's mostly when it comes to hair care shit. A lot of you, when you sell makeup and lotion, it's through usually like places like Mary Kay. You don't even have the market corner in fashion, and everybody steals their fashion from you. Let's look at this, right? Straight men, straight black men, and straight and gay black men have more shit out in the fashion world than black women. Am I lying?
No.
Let's look at the music industry. Who has more music out, black men or black women? I'll give her props, but here's the problem. Is she the norm, or is she the yeah, or is she the rare? See, I'm not afraid to give women their compliments and their glory, but at the same time, make it make sense if you're smarter. If you're so smart, why aren't your children so smart? Oh, Charles, you're gonna make enemies out of motherfuckers. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Yep, she's a minority. Let's be correct. Women do not make or invent anything for the betterment of society. They just don't. They typically don't. Even for housewives, it was men that made all those inventions to make the housewife life easier. You so called educated chicks can't even read to your sons. Do we judge the fruit, the tree, from the roots or the fruit by bears? I mean, come on. Y'all wanted this rant. Y'all got to participate. So of course these women still want me to teach them firearms and all that good shit. Well, yeah, lights off. But yet you couldn't go to a woman firearms instructor, which are few and in between. And how many women have the experience of actually having police and military experience in a combat theater? So I'm asking, when you're talking about this vaunted intelligence, where is it? From what you're telling me, you're not smart enough to literally get jobs where you're paid as equal as men, even though you're given an advantage when it comes to college acceptance. You still go pick jobs that pay less. I'm just wondering. Well, that sounds sexist, or is it real? Everywhere I look where there's a gaggle of single mothers, I see failures for children. You're going to tell a cop what he sees? Shameful, man. Shameful. You're right. America does produce poisonous fruit constantly. Dodging those answers like this, dodging them, dodging them. And Bay said, waste 100K to get an engineering degree only to make money saying stupid stuff on TikTok. Yep. And I don't even think a lot of them get engineering degrees. Because if we start doing statistics, it's not going to be pretty. You undermine your boys. Does that sound smart? Oh, let's not even talk about their debt. Good God Almighty. They're horrific when it comes to debt. Think about it. If you chicks are so smart, Tyler Perry became a billionaire making fun of you, and you couldn't do it yourself? Mm. He dressed up as you, made satire out of your behavior, and became a billionaire over it. How smart are you? Man, on that note, I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Go watch X-Men 97. You will be pleasantly surprised.
Woo!